This is a chilling moment. A 15-year-old killer posed as an innocent bystander after stabbing a 12-year-old boy to death at random as he walked home from school. Leo Ross was by himself in a park in the Hall Green area of Birmingham when he was ambushed by the teenager who had been on a violent rampage for the past 3 days. His attacker, who was 14 at the time and cannot be named for legal reasons, dealt a single stab wound to Leo's stomach and then callously pretended to be a witness by helping to raise the alarm. The boy even spun a fabricated account of how he had come across Leo's body to police as paramedics desperately worked to save him a few feet away. In one piece of body-worn camera footage captured by officers, the attacker was recorded casually lying to officers about how he had found the body. The boy told the officer, "I just come out every now and again to ride my bike because there's a mechanic's shop up there, and I was going to come through here because it leads that way. That's when I saw him. And then I saw this woman walking down. So I told her to call you guys. Then I went to get some help from different people, and that's all I know about it. He was lay there like that when I got here." The boy later added, "I didn't touch him because that could put me in the case." The murder on January 21st was the sickening culmination of 3 days of serious violence perpetrated at random by the killer against strangers in Tritterford Mill Park. He had previously targeted 3 lone women, including an elderly woman whom he attacked with her own walking stick before pushing her into the river Cole, leaving her seriously injured. Today, the teenager, wearing a black T-shirt with gray jumper draped over his shoulders, pleaded guilty to Leo's murder, as well as 2 counts of causing grievous bodily harm with intent, 1 count of assault occasioning actual bodily harm, and 1 count of possessing a knife, during a hearing at Birmingham Crown Court. He will be sentenced on February 10th. Leo, who did not know his attacker, was a model student with an unblemished behavioral record at school and had no problems with any other pupils, according to police. Following today's verdicts, Leo's heartbroken birth mother Rachel Fisher said, "My son Leo was the sweetest, most kind-hearted boy. He didn't have a bad bone in his body. My baby's life was stolen for no reason whatsoever. My life will never be the same again without him. He will be loved and missed forever." Leo's foster family, the Westons, added, "Not a day goes by where we don't think about Leo. His loss has impacted us deeply and his absence is felt constantly. Leo was the sweetest, kindest boy who put others before himself. He was loved by all that knew him. He made friends with everyone he met, young or old. He was wise beyond his years, full of knowledge and facts, full of life. A life cut short by a senseless act. We hope justice is served and we can get some closure. Whatever the outcome, it still does not give Leo his life back, the life he truly deserved to live to its fullest. It can now be revealed that the teenage killer was a delinquent who had spent months terrorizing his neighborhood since he was kicked out of full-time education. Neighbors of the boy told the Daily Mail he had attacked people, vandalized property, and been brought home by the police in the months before the park rampage. By contrast, Leo was funny, sweet, and had not one aggressive bone in his body, according to his heartbroken family. Police believe he was singled out that day because his killer was much physically bigger than him, and Leo represented an easy target. Leo had been walking home from Christ Church of England Secondary Academy School at around 3 p.m., wearing his school uniform with his jacket hood up against the cold. His killer, who was dressed entirely in black with his hood up, spotted him cutting through the park by himself. Earlier that day, his killer had tried to attack a woman who was on her own in the park, but had been interrupted, forcing him to flee. The boy, who was then 14, remained in the park and was circling around on his bicycle, hunting for another victim to assault when he spotted Leo. It is unclear precisely what happened next, but police believe the older boy pulled a kitchen knife out and stabbed Leo without much of a wider struggle. There was no suggestion it was a robbery gone wrong, as nothing was stolen. Detective Inspector Joe Davenport of West Midlands Police said the only person who would be able to explain what had happened was Leo's killer. He told the Daily Mail, "No other person was present, unfortunately, when Leo died, but a single stab wound, with no other injuries to Leo and no injuries to his killer, would suggest to me there wasn't any kind of confrontation. He simply stabbed him in an unprovoked attack, once he had inflicted the fatal blow. The boy then immediately pretended he had just come across Leo's body and ran over to alert a member of the public who called the police. Extraordinarily, the killer was still hanging around when police and paramedic arrived, and it was then he was caught on police body-worn camera watching CPR taking place. It was really sinister behavior, Detective Inspector Davenport said. The murder of Leo was the boy's fourth attack in the park over just 3 days. As well as the woman he assaulted on the same day Leo was killed, the teenager beat an elderly woman with her own walking stick and pushed her into the River Cole on January 19th. On this occasion, too, he had posed as a witness to the attack and helped to raise the alarm. The following day, on January 20th, he launched another attack on a lone woman who had been walking in the park, causing serious injuries before running away. Police arrested the teenager within 3 hours of Leo's murder and were taunted by him as he was put in the police van. Detective Inspector Davenport said he has shown no remorse for his behavior. He seemed to find the whole thing quite funny when the police arrested him, almost goading officers that they wouldn't find anything on his clothes or in his house. Fortunately, however, that did not prove to be the case, as officers were able to recover the murder weapon which had been thrown into the river. Crucially, the knife was found to have both his DNA and Leo's DNA on it. Speaking after the hearing, Jonathan Rowe, from the Crown Prosecution Service, said, "This was a senseless act of violence that has devastated a family and robbed a 12-year-old boy of his life. Leo Ross should have had his whole future ahead of him, and he should have been able to walk home from school without harm. It seems unimaginable that a 14-year-old would use a knife to intend to murder another or seriously injure them, causing their death. But that is what occurred on that day. The defendant's guilty plea today means Leo's loved ones have at least been spared the ordeal of a trial. Our thoughts remain with them as they continue to cope with this unimaginable loss. There are no excuses for carrying a knife, and I hope this case serves as a reminder of the devastating consequences of carrying and using knives."